Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings in the Witness Protection Plan.
Yeah, but still talking about science and technology.
Definitely.
Today we got an interesting one for you.
These are not fake. They're real, man. This mustache is real. A global research team has discovered a breakthrough set of urine biomarkers for prostate cancer that outperform the traditional PSA test. Using digital tumor models and AI is our friend, mice and AI, right?
Yep.
They identify proteins that can detect cancer presence and severity with striking precision. The non-invasive nature of urine testing offers a mostly painless, at-home possibility for future diagnostics.
This would be good.
Yeah. Large-scale clinical trial. Just take your little pen and pee in it and says prostate or not.
Like almost like a pregnancy test, right?
Yeah. Large-scale clinical trials are next, promising earlier detection and fewer unnecessary biopsies for men worldwide. Would you like to know more?
Prostate cancer is one of the leading causes of death among men worldwide. However, diagnosing it early remains challenging due to the lack of precise biomarkers that can reliably detect the presence of an early tumor. In a new study published today, April 28th.
So it's April 28th.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. In the journal Cancer Research, researchers from Karolinska Institute in Sweden, Imperial College London, and Zhishuan Hospital at the China Academy of Chinese Medical Sciences in Beijing have identified a set of highly accurate biomarkers for prostate cancer.
Okay, that's
promising. Yeah.
The team analyzed the mRNA activity of every human gene across the thousands of individual cells taken from prostate tumors. That's a lot. Every gene?
Yeah.
Huh. By mapping the location and severity of cancer within each cell, they were able to build detailed digital models of prostate cancer.
Using artificial intelligence, the researchers then searched these models to identify proteins that could serve as biomarkers. They validated their findings by analyzing blood, prostate tissue, and urine samples for nearly 2,000 patients.
That's respectable.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide group. The researchers identified a set of biomarkers in urine that were able to indicate the presence and severity of prostate cancer with a high degree of precision. According to their calculations, they surpass the PSA test, which is the blood biomarker in current clinical use. So,
like they draw blood?
Yeah, it's some kind of a blood test. But I guess I remember in my dad's case, he hadn't had a blood test for years, so they really didn't have anything to measure against. But it turned out he had prostate cancer anyway. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Quote, there are many advantages to measuring biomarkers in urine, explains principal investigator Mikhail Benson, senior researcher at the Department of Clinical Science, Intervention and Technology, Karolinska Institute. He continues his quote, it's not invasive and painless and can potentially, it's non-invasive and painless. I thought it was not painless, and can potentially be done at home. The sample can then be analyzed using routine methods in clinical labs. I mean, if we can poo on a little napkin and send that in for analysis, why can't we do this?
Right? Well, they're working on it. Yeah. So this is a cool thing. Yeah. So, maybe, like I said, like it's a pregnancy test where you compare the colors on a strip or something, who knows? But yeah, you could send it in or take it into your lab and find out within days. So it's coming. Large-scale clinical trials are being planned for the next phase of the research. One such is being discussed with Professor Rakesh Heer of Imperial College London, co-author of the study and head of Transform, the UK's national prostate cancer study, which offers a platform for expediting the testing of promising biomarkers. Quote, new, more precise biomarkers than a PSA test can lead to earlier diagnosis and better prognosis for men with prostate cancer, says Dr. Benson. Going on with the quote, moreover, it can reduce the number of unnecessary prostate biopsies in healthy men. So, yeah, if it's, let's say it's red, yellow, and orange, red being the worst. If you're maybe in the middle, like a
A small tumor.
Orange or yellow, maybe I'd say, hey, you need to come into the lab and get a biopsy. But if you're red, get to the doctor. If you're yellow,
you got some time left.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. So
the American Cancer Society's estimates for prostate cancer in the United States for 2025 are about 313,000 new cases of prostate cancer, about 35,000 deaths. So that's a little bit more than 10% from prostate cancer. The number of prostate cancers diagnosed each year declined sharply from 2007 to 2014, coinciding with fewer men being screened because of changes in screening recommendations. Since 2014, however, the incident rate has increased by 3% per year. That's not good.
Yeah. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during their lifetime. But each man's risk of prostate cancer can vary based on his age, race, ethnicity, and other factors. For example, prostate cancer is more likely to develop in older men. About 6 in 10 prostate cancers are diagnosed in men who are 65 or older, and it is rare in men under 40. The average age of men when they are first diagnosed is about 67. Prostate cancer is also higher in African American men and in Caribbean men of African ancestry than in men of other races. So, but still possible.
Yeah. Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in American men, behind only lung cancer. About 1 in 44 men will die of prostate cancer. Prostate cancer can be a serious disease, but most men diagnosed with prostate cancer do not die from it. In fact, more than 3.3 million men in the United States who have been diagnosed with prostate cancer at some point are still alive today. The prostate cancer death rate declined by about half from 1993 to 2022, most likely due to earlier detection and advances in treatment. In recent years, the decline in the death rate has slowed, likely reflecting the rising cancers being found at an advanced stage.
Prostate cancer that is spread outside the prostate is called metastatic. Prostate cancer that is no longer responding to hormone treatment that lowers testosterone is called castration resistant. We don't like the sound of that.
No, that's a bad word.
Yeah, we don't like the sound of that. When the cancer is metastatic, geez, and castration resistant, it is called MCRPC. A majority of patients die within 2 years of an MCRPC diagnosis.
That's a death sentence.
And more than half of the patients with MCRPC will receive only one life prolonging therapy. I wonder what that is.
Probably some gene thing.
Yeah. MCRPC is associated with fast progression, which can disrupt patients' lives. So so my dad had it back in the mid to late 80s, and the only treatment back then was just start cutting.
Yeah,
and
trying to get it out.
Yeah, and it
doesn't spread.
It was brutal. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to describe what cuts were made or what things were removed, but it was brutal. Yeah, and now they've come a long way. I mean, they blast stuff. They do all kinds of
radiation.
Yeah, very, very, not very much invasive stuff, but it's a tough deal. So
hopefully this helped you out, guys. If you guys that were watching,
wouldn't you love to just pee on a stick? That would be great.
Maybe this can help you when you go see the doctor and take a urine test to see if they can find it. Yeah. Hopefully they don't.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
One more.
There we go. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, man.